Using CIA-supplied equipment, the Afghan agents send GPS coordinates back to the CIA's base in Langley, Virginia, which in turn are sent to satellites. The CIA then watch what's happening.
What they found was that the agents were accurately reporting what they had seen. They saw the airplane, they saw the tents. Now, the agents said that Tent X belonged to Osama. They couldn't see that from the satellite, but they could see that the agents were accurately reporting the scene.
They can see the markings of the plane on a nearby airstrip, which when analyzed reveal the plane is owned by a prince from the United Arab Emirates, a country that's a key American ally. The fear of diplomatic repercussions is soon joined by another recurring worry: the reliability of the intelligence.
We discovered that this was a sheikh from the United Arab Emirates, that he often did hunting parties in this part of Afghanistan, and the likelihood that in that context bin Laden would be there began to come into question.
The CIA's bin Laden unit had no such worries.
Every day we would send the package, the information, to the White House. We know he's going to be there today. We can give you the exact time if you're ready to shoot. We can do this. And it went on and on and on.
With their relationship with the United Arab Emirates at stake, the Clinton administration waits. 7 days go by, and the Afghan agents are unable to produce photographic evidence of bin Laden's presence.
Finally, one day, on the first pass of the satellite over the camp, everything was normal. They were still there. The second pass, everybody was gone. We just waited so damn long that we lost the opportunity.
If they made a mistake and they dropped cruise missiles on this camp and killed the heir of the government of the United Arab Emirates, then even if they killed Osama bin Laden as well, they might have kicked up a world of trouble.
Questions over the intelligence and fears of damaging America's standing in the Muslim world finally scuttle this plan. But the strategists and tacticians learn something from the failure. The next strategy will need to combine superior surveillance, the element of surprise, and targeted firepower in one lethal airborne package. By 1999, there had been 3 attempts to capture or kill Osama bin Laden. The most recent, which used cruise missiles, exposed a serious flaw in any plan: the reliability of the intelligence.
The proof is in the results. They gave us the targets of the camps, no Osama bin Laden.
3, 2, 1.
So the information and the intelligence we were receiving in order to target were just not that good.
With no American eyes on the ground, President Clinton suggests to General Shelton, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, that they send in the Special Forces.
Clinton would say, put some of your ninjas in there and get him. But General Shelton came back with something that looked like the invasion of Normandy. He needed harbors, he needed fleets, he needed all kinds of things, which of course is not the definition of a covert action.
Under pressure from the president to find an alternative, General Zinni is told to develop a new plan. Enter the AC-130 gunship, one of the military's most secret weapons. The AC-130 is a modified Hercules cargo plane used by the U.S. military since the Vietnam War.
There's 2 kinds of gunships. There's the really old gunships, which are called the AC-130H Spectres. And then you have the slightly newer gunships, which were made in the 90s, called the AC-130U Spookies.
At a cost of $190 million each, the AC-130's Spooky has been constantly upgraded, creating a unique combination of high-tech surveillance equipment.
Get that person.
They went down to the ground. It's loaded.
And powerful weapons.
They
have guns of different size and lethality with optical systems on them. They can put down a round on every inch of a football field. They're incredibly lethal, probably the most lethal weapon on the battlefield.
At nearly 100 feet long and 18 feet wide, the AC-130's squat-looking appearance masks its stealth and agility. Its 4 Allison turboprop engines give the plane a range of 1,300 miles and allow it to loiter silently above its target.
It typically flies at night. It flies a pretty low level, but not so low that you can hear it very well on the ground. So it definitely keeps that element of surprise for you.
Got a vehicle moving out.
One of the vehicles moving right now.
Yeah, you are clear to engage it.
It will fly very slowly in a circle. Once it's in range, let them have it.
Here we go.
Hey, ready! Hey, ready! Secondaries.
It looks like fire coming out of that aircraft. At night, it's quite impressive.
Secondaries.
Nice secondary.
It carries a crew of 13 airmen, including 4 gunners who fire an amazing arsenal of weaponry. At the front, a Gatling gun. Then from ports at the rear of the plane, a cannon and a howitzer. AC-130 operations are highly secretive. This gunner, who has flown many missions over Afghanistan, can't be identified.
Sitting in the gun 1 position, we have the GAL-12U 25mm 5-barrel Gatling type gun, which fires 1,800 shots per minute. It's similar to what a jackhammer would feel like, so just constant jarring.
This gun is used to lay down huge amounts of suppressive fire, enough to stop any return fire. The AC-130 also has a larger, more precise weapon, the 40mm cannon.
This gun is most exciting to work with when it's being shot in rapid fire because of how fast you have to load each 4-round clip.
But the most lethal and accurate weapon on the gunship is a 105mm howitzer. It's the biggest artillery piece found on any aircraft in the world.
When this gun's going off, it's extremely powerful, and after each round, the gun recoils approximately 49 inches, so it slams back and then counter recoils. So there's big bang.
This is the type of immense firepower some at the CIA thought should have been used earlier against Osama bin Laden.
An AC-130 aircraft to go after bin Laden at Tarnak Farm would have been probably a 100% success. AC-130 gunship lays down an enormous amount of ordnance and probably would have destroyed every building and every person in that farm.
Ready, ready!
With bin Laden on the run, the AC-130's unique combination of high-tech surveillance equipment and firepower can pinpoint and lock onto a target even in the dark.
You are now clear to engage the moving vehicle.
The time from the sensor in the gunship picking up the target to the gunship being able to shoot at that target is very small.
New nominal, clear to.
Get ready! Get ready! Let's go.
Good shot.
The AC-130 is the perfect search and destroy aircraft. Its unlimited loiter time, its ability to maintain its weapons on target makes it a very good platform for almost any mission.
The CIA believes using the AC-130 will be the best tactic to kill bin Laden, but they have a problem. The exact number is classified, but in 1999, there are only believed to be 25 of these planes in the U.S. arsenal.
Gunships don't fly particularly fast, so if there's not one nearby, that's another targeting consideration that you'd have to take into account. How quickly can it get there?
Even if the AC-130s can be gathered, access to air bases in neighboring countries is needed, something the U.S. doesn't have.
Where do you put the planes? These targets, like in Afghanistan, are landlocked, and they have to penetrate somebody else's airspaces and air defense systems. And if they're detected and misinterpreted as to who they are, it's not only the danger that you have there, you've now committed a violation of someone's airspace. And what are the political ramifications from that? If it's, say, Pakistan, for example, could that mean then you lose support from Pakistan?
You could have flown one from Egypt, or you could have flown one from Pakistan, or Diego Garcia if the British wanted to help. The idea that we didn't have a base that we needed for that aircraft, it sounds good if you say it fast, but if you think about it, it's perfectly unjustifiable.
But with General Zinni opposed, another plan is shelved. It will take another 2 years, when the Taliban is finally driven out of power in late 2001, before the U.S. military controls Afghanistan's airfields. But the planning continues, and groundwork is laid to corner bin Laden in his mountain lair.
Another plane just hit.
When the hijacked planes hit the World Trade Center on 9/11/2001, the power and capacity of Osama bin Laden's deadly determination is apparent to all. The failure of the previous plans to capture or kill him are now painfully evident, as is the urgency to track him down.
We will do whatever it takes to smoke him out and get him running, and we'll get him.
The man whose job it is to hunt bin Laden down gets a very specific order.
My orders were that I should find Osama bin Laden, kill him, cut his head off, and bring it back in a box for the President of the United States.
Bernson is sent to Afghanistan. His mission, codenamed Jawbreaker, sounds impossible. Recruit an Afghan army to defeat the Taliban and to minimize American casualties, and do it with fewer than 50 American men.
There'll be 6 teams of men inserted around the country that will work side by side with the Northern Alliance. I should expect that I would lose 1/3 of the men on those teams.
The Northern Alliance is an ethnically and religiously disparate group of rebel movements, united in its desire to topple the Taliban. The CIA has been working with the alliance since 1997.
When the CIA went into northern Afghanistan, they were not arriving as strangers. They had been working these relationships and supplying equipment and building intelligence cooperation for several years before that.
The loyalty of the Afghan warlords is paid for in cash.
I had a very large Rubbermaid trunk and had more than $10 million in that trunk. Move from location to location with it and make payments as needed. You have to be careful when you have that much money in a place like Afghanistan.
The Jawbreaker plan gets off to a great start. On November 9th, 30,000 Northern Alliance fighters, directed by Bernson's teams and supported by massive American firepower, attack the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. City after city falls, beginning with Mazar-e-Sharif and Kunduz in the north. The alliance then marches south to take the Afghan capital, Kabul, and the Taliban stronghold, Kandahar.
We were able to take Kandahar without having to commit large numbers of U.S. combat forces. That was a huge success because there was a worry that there would be a lot of casualties if we did that.
After the fall of Kandahar, Dwayne Evans' Jawbreaker team sets up roadblocks around the city, hoping to capture high-value targets.
There was a hope that my team would be able to capture bin Laden, although we had no information saying he was in that particular area. But because we didn't know for sure, anything was possible.
A roadblock is set up an hour south of Kandahar on Highway 4. It's one of the main routes used by Al-Qaeda and the Taliban to get in and out of Pakistan. A nervous-looking driver is stopped.
The vehicle that he was captured in had SA-7 rockets in it, and so we knew he was a bad guy.